Have you ever wondered what the most famous speech in history might be? Not from a president or a king or a philosopher, but from a wandering teacher on a hillside over 2,000 years ago. This moment is known as the Sermon on the Mount, a teaching from Jesus in the New Testament of the Bible. It is where we find some of the most quoted lines in all of Western culture. Blessed are the meek. Love your enemies. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But what really happened that day? What did Jesus say? And why has it shaped the way billions of people think about morality, kindness, and justice? Let's step back in time, climb that hillside, and discover the meaning behind one of the world's greatest messages. Picture the scene, a gentle slope overlooking the Sea of Galilee in northern Israel. The sun is bright but not scorching. People have gathered, fishermen, farmers, women carrying children, elders leaning on walking sticks. Word has spread about a teacher and healer named Jesus. Instead of going to the temple or a city square, he chooses the open hillside, a place where anyone can come, no walls, no barriers. He sits down, as was the custom for teachers in his time, and the crowd quiets. The first words he speaks are what we now call the Beatitudes, blessings for those who might otherwise feel forgotten. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. These weren't the powerful or the wealthy being praised. These were ordinary, struggling people, the grieving, the humble, the outcasts. Jesus then goes on to tell the crowd, "You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world." In other words, each person matters. Each person has the power to bring goodness into the world. He then begins to challenge how people understood the law and morality. You have heard it said, "Do not murder," but I tell you, even being angry with your brother puts you in danger. You have heard it said, "Love your neighbor and hate your enemy." But I say, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. This was radical. Love your enemies? In a world ruled by Rome and filled with conflict, that was a shocking idea. He also spoke about forgiveness, about not judging others harshly, and about giving to the poor in secret, without boasting. And then came one of the most famous lines of all, what we call the Golden Rule. Do to others what you would have them do to you. The crowd must have been hanging on every word. It wasn't about strict rules or religious rituals. It was about the heart, about living with compassion, humility, and love. Finally, he ends with a simple image, a wise builder and a foolish builder. The wise man builds his house on rock, and when storms come, it stands firm. The foolish man builds on sand, and when storms come, the house falls. His point? Build your life on a strong foundation, values that last. To really understand why this sermon mattered, we have to look at the world around Jesus. First, the setting. Galilee in the first century was under Roman occupation. Life was hard, taxes were heavy. Many people lived in poverty. There was tension between the Jewish people and their Roman rulers, and many longed for freedom. Religious leaders at the time often emphasized strict observance of laws, hundreds of them, but for everyday people, this felt overwhelming. When Jesus spoke about blessings for the poor, about forgiveness, and about loving even your enemies, it turned the usual way of thinking upside down. Instead of focusing only on outward rituals, he focused on the heart, on inner transformation. Another powerful detail, teaching on a hillside. In Jewish tradition, mountains were often places of revelation. Think of Moses on Mount Sinai receiving the Ten Commandments. By speaking from a mountain, Jesus was symbolically presenting a new kind of law. Not one written on stone tablets, but one written on people's hearts. So what can we take from the Sermon on the Mount today, no matter what our personal beliefs might be? At its core, the sermon is about a new way of seeing the world, that true strength is found in humility, not arrogance, that peace begins not with revenge, but with forgiveness. That real goodness isn't about being seen, but about what we do quietly, with sincerity, and that treating others the way we wish to be treated is the foundation of a just society. It's a message that has inspired civil rights leaders, humanitarian movements, and everyday acts of kindness for centuries. And maybe in a world that still wrestles with division, anger, and inequality, the words spoken on that hillside still challenge us to live differently, to build our lives on compassion, understanding, and love. The Sermon on the Mount isn't just a historical moment, it's a living message echoing across centuries. Whether you see it as divine revelation, moral wisdom, or simply timeless advice, its impact is undeniable. If you enjoyed this journey into one of the world's greatest teachings, be sure to subscribe to Miracles, Morals, and Messages. Together, we'll keep exploring the stories that have shaped human history, inspired billions, and continue to guide us today. If you have a story from any religious or spiritual background that you'd like us to cover, we've put a form in the description that you can submit, and we will do our best to add your story to the library.